Hello my friends, welcome to the Electric Viking. Now I said recently that if you wanted a video made, contact me via our Facebook page or Facebook group and I'll consider your request. I won't necessarily make it, but I'll certainly consider it. Now I've had 4 requests for one particular video. It all comes down back to the BYD EA1 Dolphin. Guys, I fully understand why you want a video made on this, because there's a new video on YouTube showing the interior and the exterior of this car, which is pretty cool. Now I'm going to tell you right now, it looks better than I thought, partly due to the LED signature, partly due to just seeing it in the flesh in the real life. And one of the things that really impressed me was how small the car's actual exterior dimensions are. It's about 30 centimeters shorter than a Toyota Corolla, but it's actually got a bigger interior than the Toyota Corolla. And the other thing I really liked was the LED light signature on the rear of the car. Now, Wolfgang Egger, the former Audi design chief, who is now global design director at BYD, has designed the BYD Dolphin, and I must say he's done a good job. Some people have criticized it in forums and comment sections. Guys, there's something wrong with you. You need glasses. This thing is a good-looking car. It's practically designed. Function follows form, form follows function, whichever way you want to put it. And this thing, honestly, sorry, it looks good. Now, this little electric hatchback, which is not really that little, is the first BYD model to adopt the company's marine design concepts and its 800-volt 3.0 battery architecture, which will have the Blade battery and the new battery management system and much faster charging because it's using an 800-volt system. So we don't yet know what the charging speed will be, but my guess is 200 kilowatt plus. What Wolfgang Egger said about the car, this is our urban dream. It is a vision. It is not just a car, but it is a device for future mobility in the city. It's compact, it's fresh, it's individual, and it's an icon. As you remember, I always say that a car should be defined only by 3 lines. It's a new architecture for electric mobility. And only these 3 lines, they define the shape. It's really unique. It's an icon. You see once and you never forget it again. Can you? Well, obviously he speaks German. English is not his first language, so he's not really done the best job there of kind of explaining what he's saying. But I agree, it is kind of an iconic look. So the BYD Dolphin sits on the company's new E-Platform 3.0, but it is just an economical city car. Or is it? BYD say they'll be making a hot hatch version, which will do 0 to 60 miles an hour, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in less than 4 seconds. This could be a pivotal vehicle for even the performance car segment. Now, BYD electric battery pack. Now, the new platform also allows for, BYD say, I'm a bit skeptical on this, but BYD say a 2.9 second 0 to 100 kilometer an hour acceleration time, a 1,000 kilometers of range, and rapid charging at a level powerful enough to gain 150 kilometers of range in just 5 minutes. Now, the company says that the torsional rigidity of its E-Platform 3.0 models will be double that of its ICE models, and that really comes down to the battery pack being part of the structure of the car. Specifications. The Dolphin measures 4,070 millimeters, so 4,070 millimeters, up to 4,150 millimeters, depending on body style. One will have bigger bumpers, and that'll be the difference, the 80 millimeter difference. In length, 1,770 millimeters in width and 1,570 millimeters in height. And it has a 2.7 meter wheelbase, so a longer wheelbase, which is enabled by it being an EV, not having an engine at the front. It's going to come in 3 configurations, and I've reported on 2 different configurations in my other video. I'll put it in the description below, so you can have a look at that too. I don't know what the 3rd version is, but I'm guessing it's the hot hatch version. Hasn't yet been technically released to the market or really spoken about a lot. But I'm going to guess that, yeah, like I said, that's going to be the version with potentially an even bigger battery pack and an additional motor. I think they're going to put a motor in the front. It's got a motor in the rear. They're going to put an extra motor in the front, and that'll enable it to have a lot more power versus the other versions, which come with around about 70 kilowatt. Now, looking at the interior, guys, wow, it's a nice interior for a budget car, isn't it? Really nice. Look at the size of that screen. It's got obviously a digital screen for the driver, then a nice big 15-inch, then a nice big 12-inch touchscreen. It's quite a modern, nice-looking interior. Now, the base and middle configurations employ a 70 kilowatt and 180 newton meter permanent magnet synchronous motor. The motor draws energy from a 30.7 kilowatt hour blade LFP battery pack in the base configuration and a 44.9 kilowatt hour Blade LFP battery pack in the middle configuration. Now, the base model provides 301 kilometers of NEDC range, and the middle spec model for the 44.9 kilowatt hour model comes with a noticeably longer range, 405 kilometers on the NEDC cycle. So you're probably looking at about 370 kilometers of real world range on that middle specification vehicle. As you can see, guys, looking at the car here, it has 16-inch wheels with 195 R16 tires. Now, apparently the top-end Dolphin, which should make it to Australia and I believe to Europe and the UK, get a more powerful permanent magnet synchronous motor that generates 130 kilowatt and 290 newton meters of torque. Now, an MIIT filing that I've accessed has shown that it can attain a top speed of 160 kilometers an hour, and its battery pack is the same 44.9 kilowatt hour unit as that of the middle configuration, but it gives a slightly lower range of 401 kilometers, of course, because it has more power. Now, as you can see here, these are the three variants. Now, we know officially the base model and the middle model. We know what they actually are, but the third model there, I think there's a little bit of speculation about that car, whether or not it will come with those specs, but it appears as though it might. We don't know the acceleration times from 0 to 60 miles per hour, but we do know 0 to 50 kilometers an hour, which is 3.9 seconds for the base model. The middle of the range model also 3.9 seconds because it has the same motor, and the higher end model 3 seconds, 0 to 50 kilometers an hour, because it has, of course, a fair bit more power. So you're probably looking at around about a time of 5.5 seconds for 0 to 60 miles an hour in the top end model. But like I said though, I do believe a hot hatch model will come out soon. Now, what about price? Well, pre-sales of the Dolphin began on the 13th of August 2021 with prices starting at around about 20,000 Australian dollars or around about 15,000 US dollars and going all the way up to 26,000 Australian dollars or around about 19,000 US dollars for the higher end model. Comes with LED headlights and taillights, heated ORVMs, a 13-inch touchscreen, 5-inch digital instrument cluster, heat, 6-way adjustable driver seat, 4-way adjustable front passenger seat, a mobile key, which is NFC based, and a panoramic sunroof. Now, what about the Australian launch? Well, in July, Nextport CEO Luke Todd told thedriven.io to expect the BYD Dolphin Australia launch in the last quarter of 2021. Now, I believe that's now been changed to the first quarter of 2022, with deliveries expected to come between January and March 2022. Nextport will price the BYD Dolphin in Australia, they say, well under $35,000, and they also say that the top spec model will do less than 5 seconds from 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, like I said before earlier in the video. So clearly there's an additional model here that we don't know about yet that BYD will release at some point, maybe over the next 6 months. My opinion, pricing. I believe the base model will cost $28,000 in Australia, so around about 21,000 US dollars. I believe the mid-spec model will cost about $34,000 and the top-end model about $38,000. Now, why do I say that? Well, because BYD's big kind of SUV van thing that they've brought out, the E6 in Australia, it's probably about twice the weight, probably about twice the size of this car, costs 39,990 Australian dollars, so 30,000 US dollars in Australia. It's a much bigger vehicle, got a much bigger battery, it's got a 70 kilowatt hour battery pack, and that is, like I said, priced at 39,990. So it's really kind of unrealistic to say they're going to price this at $35,000. Only $5,000 less for a car that's half the size and has half the size of battery doesn't make sense. It's exactly half. The base spec here is 35 kilowatt hour. The standard size battery in the E6 is 70 kilowatt hour. So that's twice the size of battery, twice the size of car, and only $5,000 difference? I don't think so. So I think you'll see the base model come in at around about $27,000 to $28,000. And at that price, BYD will never be able to make enough of these to satisfy demand, especially when they go on sale in other countries such as Canada, Europe, the UK, even the United States. Guys, tsunami of these vehicles are coming. Believe it or not, I just think BYD doesn't fully realize the insane demand there's going to be for this car. They're going to be shocked, pleasantly shocked. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.